Dale Little here with Rescue American Ministries, and we're continuing in Revelation chapter 18. Picking up in verse 11, I'm going to go back and read, as I often do, back just a few verses and give you a little background right quick. In case you didn't catch the last couple of videos as we've gotten into this chapter. Babylon the Great, mother of harlots, will finally meet her end. There's two systems in this world, and one is you've got God's people, you've got God's ways, His law that He's laid down, His will that He has intended for this earth and this people that He's created. You have the other antithesis of this is the world system, and there's a couple of different words that we do commonly use for world. One is this ball of dirt that we walk around on, and the other is the world, basically world system. And you can express that in different ways, but it's really counter. Anything that's not in line with God is counter to God. And so this world system is a counterculture to God's world and God's desire, God's will. It's just the opposite of what God wants. Basically, the Bible says that Satan is the prince of this world. So he's been given certain authority and certain place to be the head of this world, the king, the prince, however you want to put it. But he's not in total control. He's not the ultimate authority. He's only been given kind of a downside for a time. It's only for a time, too. This day is coming. And so that's what we see. It's basically his system here that's falling apart. It's the system has used the rich men and the rich people of this world. And don't get down. You can't criticize rich people just because they're rich. Many people God has blessed with funds and money and riches in order to further His ministry, His kingdom, to support the work that needs to be done, to support the work that reaches out to the poor and things like that. Now, this world does not like that because, you know what? They don't like God getting credit for it. They don't like God. They're God haters because they're following their father, the devil. That's what he told the Pharisees, and that's his day. And that's the same thing that John chapter 3 pretty much expresses, maybe in just different words. The light was come into this world, and darkness hates the light because its deeds are evil. And the darkness hides their evil deeds. So they hate the light, who is Jesus Christ. They hate God's people because we are bearers of that light. He dwells within us. He dwells within His people. And so you have two systems here. You need to understand that. Yes, you can be friends to a certain point in certain ways to this world, but only to a limited point. You can't be part of this world system. Your allegiance is to Jesus Christ if you're a child of God. And even if you're not, that's where your allegiance belongs. He is one that created you. He is the one that supplies you with the breath of air every day. Now, we're getting ready to head into some disastrous times coming up. Now, I don't know when. I'm not setting dates. But this climate change propaganda that's just bombards us day after day after day after day, and it's becoming more and more and more. That's all the problems. That's the greatest problem we have right now is man-made climate change. Now they got away from that man-made part for a while, But even, you know, hold on, let me get this down just a second. It even is man's fault because we eat beef and cows give off methane. So that's human. Never mind there might be cows out here roaming wild. Never mind that they have buffaloes and the deer and all these wild animals that let off methane also. It's man's fault. We're to blame. And you've got this group of people in charge that want to take charge. We here in the United States, to this point, are a sovereign nation. I don't know how much longer that'll last, because you have those in charge that are right now, and others behind them that want to push this agenda that man is the cause of all the problems. There are too many people in this world. And we, if it comes to a conflict between man and animals, for instance, it's always the man who is the one who is encroaching on the animal's territory. Well, who gave that territory to the animals? Who said this belongs to? Who said man does not belong here? And the animals do. Listen, if that's the way you feel, then don't look for everybody else to lead the way. Why don't you lead the way? Hey, if you think we've got too many people, then hey, volunteer. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not suggesting anybody really do that. I'm just making a point. You're a hypocrite if you complain about too many people and you're one of them. You know, see what I mean? Hey, better just admit that, hey, we have as much right here as any animal, and that shows how upside down this world system is. When animals become the predominant, when they become preeminent over God and everything, every person. I mean, how many people? I understand where people come from. I love pets. I love animals. I've usually had a dog. I haven't had one since we went to Romania and come back now. But I miss having one sometimes. They're wonderful companions by your side all the time, sometimes too often. But at any rate, that's one of the things that we, deal with. And so we're coming to a time, though, when these people that think they are smart enough to take control of everything, and they're the ones that know how to work everything. God doesn't know how to control the climate. God doesn't know how to know what needs to be. So they're going to take control. They've just recently launched a satellite. I think it was said that it will hunt out places where excess methane is coming from the earth, and wherever that may be. And so their next step, hey, why? Why are they going to send that up to document these places unless they intend to do something? And so then they're going to start trying to control the climate themselves. And every time man does something like that, they make a mess of it. We make a mess of it. But because we begin to play God, and we can control, we know what's better for the earth and the world than God does. So look for it to get worse when that happens, when they begin to control. I don't know. I never gave them permission to control my climate, but they're going to do it by force if they're left to their ways to do it. So anyway, this great Babylon, though, this world system, and it's been worse ways than that. These are just some minor ways that I'm talking about. Let's look at, and I said I was going to pick up in verse 11. Let's just go ahead and start there right quick. Take a few minutes and look at that for the next few verses. And it talks about the merchants who were with this system, Babylon, the harlot. And, let's back up to verse 9. First of all, look at the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. Shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And that's what it is, judgment. And then merchants of the earth shall weep, this is verse 11, and mourn over her. For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. How many of you remember when Donald Trump was elected president? And I'm not getting into politics necessarily here, but I've said a long time that we can't hide the sins of this world behind politics, and you can't just ignore sin, because of politics. But these people were looking for someone to carry out what has been carried out in the last couple of years. But their plans were interrupted, and so the day after election, and all the people before that, you remember. Some of you don't because you never saw it, maybe, but all the news media and all these people joking about how Donald Trump, they laughed, at the possibility that Donald Trump might become president. Well, little did they know the support he had of the American people. And that's the problem right there. It's not politics. It's not Donald Trump necessarily. They're wanting to take control of the American people because we have a constitution that says we the people. And they think we're not able to determine our own future, and we're not smart enough to take care of ourselves. So we need these elitists, these super smart people that claim, and all these super smart people were saying, oh, Donald Trump will never become president. That's never going to happen. And then after the election, you see them in tears, boo-hooing, because they've lost their control that they thought they had. And so you're going to see, even worse than that. But that's just a small sample of what you're going to see when this Babylon finally falls. And you're going to see that these merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. All of a sudden, their wealth is going to be gone that they made off of everybody else. And it's been made through so many different things. Listen to this. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine iron wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beast and sheep and horses and chariots, and listen to this, and slaves and souls of men. That's what they've traded in. That was their merchandise, it says. So no wonder that the time will come, and I'm not going to get that far with this session, but we'll look at the next time. The time is coming when and I hear people all the time try to say that they don't understand this. I just don't have a problem with it. I know the Bible teaches love your enemy, but these are different from just our enemies. These people they've murdered and killed, and it even says, at one point, these are those that have drunk the blood of the saints and just did horrendous things. These are the people that are responsible for human trafficking throughout the world. As it said right there, for slaves, that was part of their merchandise. And not only that, but souls of men is part of their merchandise. And so the day's going to come, and I'll just jump on down ahead, and we'll not do much with it today. We'll talk about it later. But in verse 20, here it says, Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. You remember? God warned us not to take vengeance, but he didn't say vengeance was necessarily wrong. No, he said, vengeance is mine. He will take the vengeance. Well, is God going to sin? No, he's not. So don't worry about what God is doing here and what He's going to do to those who have treated His servants and His people like they have, and how they've shook their fist in God's face. They're God's enemies. They're not just our enemies. They're God's enemies. And I don't have any sympathy for them. I'll not sit back and say, oh, I'm so sorry to see what's happened to them. Not when I read this verse here and it says, the time will come. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. So we got through verse 13 today, and we'll pick up there and start with verse 14 in the next session. Dale Little here with Rescue America Ministries.